Hey, this is George,
Hey, this is Frags.
and this is Real Talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, brother?
Not much, brother. Lunchtime special. Gotta have some fun. What you thinking?
Every time you do this, man, I know we got a banger. Definitely got a good
Oh,
guest
let's
on
know
today.
it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. How's everything else been going since yesterday?
Man, been pretty good. I was looking at some old boxing matches. You know, my so crazy knocking people out. So we do things. That's old stuff. Flashbacks. Like, I'm like, you look like almost like him. I didn't believe until I actually looked at a tape and actually have a right hook. It looks very similar to his. I'm like, gee, it must be a genetic thing. It's like, how do you? I ain't even taught it, man. Never seen him. I know DNA is a good thing.
That's true, but sometimes it's also learned too. The thing is, when you get back to basics and understand basics, it is truly amazing. I tell
Yep.
my students all the time, when you're kicking and punching and you're sparring in a match, the first thing that's going to go is your legs. So
Yep.
you can't be jumping and flying and doing all that stuff you see. You have to stay very, very, very basic, or you're
Exactly.
going to tire yourself out, you know.
I'm
And
basically come.
yep,
I'm
that's
punch
it.
left hook, punch left hook. Now if I get a little advanced, hey, you get a kick, you gonna hurt because that's one kick you're gonna get, you're gonna fight.
It's true.
You always get 100%, no matter how tired you are. It always got to be 100%. If you ain't 100%, don't throw it.
That's it.
What's our talk? If you ain't 100%, don't throw it.
That's true. That's fully
Don't
right.
embarrass yourself.
How
Don't
many
embarrass
people?
yourself.
How many people we seen sleep? You know what I'm saying? And they wake
Ooh,
up, they be like this.
I
What
know, right?
happened? Too funny.
What happened? I can't see my thing. I don't remember what happened. Yeah, you got knocked out.
Got knocked out. But anyway, from combat sports to something that we actually, are supposed to be talking about. Sorry, we got carried away. We got a great guest.
Sorry.
Miss Keila is with us, and she is a life coach. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
You're you're muted.
Oh, you
Just
might be.
yes, just gotta click a microphone. That's all right.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the show.
Well,
Welcome to the
a
show.
great start. Yes. Thank you very much for having me here.
Greatly
So,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Pleasure.
Tell the listeners and fans a little bit about you, your name, your background, so forth and so on.
So, hello everyone. I am Keila. I'm based in the UK, and I am a confidence coach for single mothers. It started with my story, the story of my life, that I became single and I went through like a broke up and I lost my self-esteem, my confidence, and I was like close myself in the box, which taken like around 4 years to recover that. So I decided to support single mother because I know that it's hard
Mm-hmm.
when they don't have support.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say I could like support mothers, but mother they have their partner, so it's harder for single mother to face all the challenge all by themselves. So I wanted to support the single mother because it's something I went through, and I can help them recover the confidence once they lost post breakup. So yes.
Nice.
I have questions.
Yes.
I always have
You
questions.
said it nice. You had a lot of questions over here.
That's true. I always have questions because the thing about
Amazing.
single mothers is the fact that no
Yep.
matter where you live in the world, a mother's raising a child in some form or fashion. My father was a workaholic, so I very rarely saw my father. So I was basically raised by my mother and my grandmother. And the challenges that they go through in raising children, whether with a parent that's there, a partner that's there, or a spouse that's not there, is cyclical. In the United States here, we say, we're blessed because a lot of us in our community and people that look like us have been raised by our mamas and our grandmamas.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here to be the people
Yep.
that we are today because they stood in the gap. Can you just explain to the listeners a little bit about that particular challenge? Because um, depression is an issue in our community. Um, how do I say this? Other things besides
Mhm.
just depression that plague our communities, um, based on just happenstance in life, so to speak. And a lot of times, our mothers are very strong to cover it up, but a lot of times they suffer inside. So, can you just basically Okay, let me simplify the question. I know it might
Yes.
be complex, but can you just basically explain to the listeners how you fall into something like that?
Yeah, so basically, one of the hardest things regarding being single mother is that the fact we believe that our problem is not matter, or no one will be interested, or our what we are going through. Most of the people out there like have more problem or more issues that our is just minimal.
Hmm.
And this is one of the things that like stopping a lot of people from asking for help, even for the family or friends. So they will be closing themselves, like suffering. And even it can be like financial, can be emotional, can be like a simple take care of their child, and they will be struggling all by themselves, and not even ask for help. This was one of the things that made me stay like all this process 4 years, uh, being like struggling with low self-esteem. Because, for example, I had a friend like they was there to support me.
Hmm.
But instead, I was like laughing with them and tell them like everything was fine, but inside I was broken.
Hmm.
And it was until I made the decision that I can't be in this position anymore. It was when the things change and when it shift.
Right.
But in order to make the decision, you can go through a lot. And if you have someone like to support you, it's gonna make your life much easier. But if
Right.
not, you need to be able to ask for help. Sometimes when the people listen, like ask for help, they will may think, okay, I don't have money to pay somebody else to help me with
Hmm.
my problem, let's say. But what about your friends? Don't you have like a friend who can just talk with to bring out all these negative emotions that you carry inside of you? Did that answer your question,
Oh yeah,
George?
absolutely, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
shame is a big part of it. Like you said, you put on a happy face because you have to, but you suffer inside. And I know that that suffering can lead to postpartum depression. It can lead to suicidal tendencies. It could lead to lashing out, abusing the kids in some form or fashion because of your situation. And sometimes it's just financial, being verbally abused and beat down because you got yourself caught in this particular situation can be stressful as well. Um, I like the fact that you said, you made the choice and you made the decision that you can't live like this anymore. Let me ask you, are there any resources besides let me reframe the question because I know we've had a lot of women on the show
Yes.
that support women's rights, women's issues, single mothers, and how they overcame that. Do you find that there's still more issues? I mean, are there still more resources out there to support these kind of women, or is it just taboo and nobody's really talking about it until it becomes a major issue?
I believe like nobody really talk about the single mother like issue,
Hmm.
because or even single mother, they don't admit themselves as a single mother.
Hmm.
So the fact that they don't admit themselves like they are single mother make like the situation more harder.
Hmm.
For me, the decision I made to come out from this position it was because I always believed that I can be somebody else. So in that fact, I was living in the dark.
Right.
So for me, I had to remember who I was before become single mother in order to make that decision. So this
Right.
is one of the things like the people need to be able to do. Remember who they are, because we all have a passion, we have a desire inside
Right.
of us. We need to discover what is this passion that is hidden over there.
Right.
You know what is your passion, you can go back to the place where you was once empowered, where you was once that kind of person you want to become. because this is the major issue, is forgetting who we are in the process, right? So the decision comes from that. Sometimes the people may say, I don't have a skill, or I don't have degree. What are you good at?
Right.
And degree is just a degree, like I love to say, because a lot of people, they went to the university and end up like not fulfill their career, or end up give up and try to do something else with their life.
Right.
So it's not about the education is good, absolutely, is fundamental, but it's not the only way to
Right.
achieve or fulfill your passion.
Right.
And my major goal with the single mother is to remember them who they are,
Right.
and so they can discover that passion that once it was there, and wake up to the reality.
Okay.
So yes.
And do you also help them with resources? Because the reason why I ask is because here in the United States, female workers make about 80 to 85% their counterpart male workers on the dollar. Um, People in our community make a lot less than that. So if their white counterparts make 80 to 85 cents on the dollar to the male counterparts, African American females and females of color make about 70 to 75 cents on the dollar compared to uh, us males as counterparts. Do you see that same discrepancy where you are as far as what their earning potential is to be able to help?
So this is one of the approach I heard about like recently, like the differentiation between male, female, and the people of our color to be paid differently. Because I wasn't aware of that. I was like, this kind of thing still happening in our
Mhm.
society. We are
Right.
like in 21st century, and how come these kind of things are still happening
Mhm.
is unbelievable. Where I am in the UK, we don't have this kind of situation. Uh, I can say like fortunately, but for the resource you was trying to like find out, I would say is looking for free education, so that they can level up like technology, and fight back for whatever they're looking for in their life, because it's the only way the money supporting. So like how can I go for what I want even though I don't have enough money,
Mhm.
is thing with the, other people as well, because the conversation will lead you to the road. So it's not like a stop dreaming, I would say.
Right.
All right. Nice. So my thing is, I
Welcome
really
back.
my mother. I'm back, right? And pop back in like, yeah, I'm like, look, bro, I just pop in, pop out, you know. But I read about seeing a mother. I know it was really hard, and I also ended up becoming a single father. But I found it even harder because of the fact of the matter is sexual stereotype, where it's traditional to see a single mother, but not as traditional to see a single father.
Right.
So that's like another challenge you also add on top of the already more challenges. I mean, can you imagine going to school like, oh, where the mother at? Well, right here, right here, yeah. You know. And I understand a lot what single mothers go through when getting trying to get help, trying to get people to come in, any type of assistance. They don't. I mean, they don't forget everybody. Cause you know why? They won't actually think about it. I think they use that stereotype to say why they need police our areas more, why they need to not give us education that we should get it, because they figure we're not supposed to go in there. You're supposed to be in jail by the age of 12. I was going,
Right.
Wow.
and then as you older, it even sometimes got even lower now because kids not 80 years old now committing crimes,
Right.
and they're saying trying to blame it because the father's not there, this right here. But as you know, our counterparts with two single homes, mother and father home, are just as bad.
Right.
So like, how do you like get the mindset of a single mother to think not to fall into that stereotype when they're raising their kids?
Right.
Hmm. I would say is to not give importance for to not listen to what other people are saying, because we are living according to the society and we want to please everyone, and not possible. So if you are single mother and if you are listening because you shouldn't raise your children this way, um, I just want to ask you, as a single mother, who is the person who supports you when your child is sick? Is
Right.
there anyone to support you when your child is sick? So if the answer is no, is why are you listening to somebody else, right?
Right.
So is this convenient to say it's fine enough, you should be raising your child in that way, and you're not supporting me when I need? So why should I listen to you?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is one major point that we can cut off, like not looking for the other person and try to follow their trait, because we are the only one who know what we are going through, and how hard it is, and how we can support our children the best.
Right.
And by teaching them like a basic principles, to not, it's hard, because the child will say, okay, somebody else have a father and I don't have,
Right.
and they will try to go in this bad road, like I love to say. But as a mother, we want to be connected with our child. That's why it's important to take care of ourselves, take care of our self love, and be, if a mother is able to dedicate few minutes for herself to remind herself who she is and love herself back again, she will be connected with her like a child. So I believe this not gonna be leading him to go into the wrong road, because he has the love. Doesn't matter if the father is away, he has enough just to see that they don't need to seek outside, because this is what the child is looking for, is trying to impress somebody else, to call attention. He's just seeking for attention. But
Right.
if the mother is in the position that she cannot provide the love he's looking for, he will be looking outside.
Right. Absolutely. So let me follow up with that really quick. Are you seeing a lot of that, kids acting out because of outside pressures with your clients? Is that like a normal thing? Because I know that in the United States we have big brother and big sister programs where we go and we help mentor kids and pick them up and take them to basketball games and
Yeah.
baseball games and things of that nature, just to be that support system for them. I know that I had a big brother as well too, because my father was a workaholic that helped me along the way in his absence. Are you seeing that more in your circle of clients?
Not really. I haven't seen like this kind of situation, like they have a community to support the child to develop the other skill and stay away for the road of the crime. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But what have been happening is the mother herself was able to raise a child and understand all the adversity outside of those situations. Because my mom was a single mom, not the fact like her partner left him, but my father passed away when I was
Mhm.
like in the very young age, and she was able to raise us four all by herself, with the support of my grandmother, of course. But still, we, uh, I grew up and I want to do best of my life so I can provide her the life she dedicated for me. So it's all come to the circle you living in, and the friendship, and once again the support of the family. His
Right.
family. So when we see the struggle of single mother, it's because they don't have support at all. And then lead them for the frustration. They are not taking care of themselves, the mindset, even the body, and they believe that there is nothing else out there waiting for them. They start to drink and they start to come all,
Self-medicate.
Yeah.
all these circles, it's like a vicious
Yeah.
circle that would say one thing will bring up to another thing. So it's really important to work in their mindset first, so they can be able to support their children and the family.
Okay. Nice. So let me ask you, like, I know here, like, reflect a little bit of saying that here we have programs to like help out a little bit, like sports. I know every country has sports. Every country has coaches to also be influencing the kids. Like, do you see more there also where coaches or like mentors also come in to help the single mother a little bit with the sons and stuff, try to keep them on that straight and narrow path and keep them from going to the drugs, to alcohol, even games. I mean, every country have a version of games. Like, do you see that happening there also, or?
Not really, because here in the UK, I haven't seen this kind of thing happen. But I'm glad like this kind of things happening like in the United States, because I can see that this support a lot of children because they have like a guidance to go to if they need. So yeah.
Okay. So just to piggyback, have you ever thought of starting a program similar to that there to actually help the single mothers in that aspect too? Yourself, they start a program with several other people to start one there.
Basically, because of the COVID, there is no much we can do like physically. It's more in terms of virtual circles now. So the support is all about the Zoom and all this stuff. We hopefully this come to the end and we can like meet up each other and support in the best level, like physically.
And so let me ask you, has your client base grown because it's virtual and they physically don't have to come to a meeting? Or do you think that you're still in a small community?
It's still been a small community.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha. So, more fun time. So what are some tips you can give young mothers? Because there are different, actually, some mothers like the age from now, like young as 12 years old, now become mothers. Some are single mothers. Some as old as 35. Single mothers. Like, what thing tips you can give to help bridge that bridge gap? There's a big gap because one's a little mature than others, one is not mature than others, and depression sets in a lot quicker when you're younger versus when you were 35 being a single mother. Like, what tips you can give those people who may be encouraged by that and need encouragement or empowerment?
I believe the 12 years old mother is like she's trying to figure out how to live her life, and she already provide like having somebody else to take care of. You understand the challenge is even harder because she's gonna be missing her childhood. The time she should be playing, she is now taking care of her child. So I believe is more challenge for her in regard to somebody else who is 35, because she already have like a knowledge of what's going on, and she will be able to take care of herself and her child. Regarding to the 12 years old, what she knows that will be supporting her child. She's trying to figure out all by herself before support her child. It's gonna be like she learn how to growing up and how to take care of her child. Is too challenging one. So for the 12 years old, definitely will be the hardest too.
Right. Definitely. All right. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so you can find me on on the Instagram. A confident woman is my AJ handle, and also you can find me on Facebook as Keila Cravid, my name.
Nice.
Listen, we appreciate you being on the show, and thank you for taking the time out to speak to us. I think it's what, 5 o'clock?
It's 6:30 almost.
Okay. Oh wow, really?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you for taking the time out and being on the show for us. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Welcome to the family. As always, it's good to say that.
Bye. Cheers.
Oh man. Another good banger, man. Another good banger as always, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it's interesting, Fraser, when you sit here and you listen to single mother stories around the world, and it's almost like the same story, brother. You know what I mean? Single mothers are the same, whether they're here in the United States, whether they're here in the UK, whether, you know, they're here in Asia or they're here
Yeah,
in Africa or any place else, man. You always have to deal with that embarrassment. You always have to deal with that shame of getting yourself caught in that situation. And for her to sit here and have to live in something like that, man, for 4 years before she snapped herself out of the situation,
yeah,
you know, it's heartbreaking. But that's the same story, man, that we hear here in the United States with some of the guests that we've had.
yeah,
And, you know, some of our own life experiences, man.
exactly.
It's just a challenge. I salute that sister for understanding that and creating the space that she needed to help other people that were in her situation. You know, each one help one. So
Exactly.
it's definitely
That
appreciated.
is true. I mean, it's amazing to see how, if you look back, we had a little more, even more resources than some countries have, who consider more financial well-being than we are. And
Right.
somewhat, like, who would think the UK don't have a certain program in place to assist or help single mothers or anybody in that situation, and compared to us? That's why I say we are blessed in so many different ways. At the same time, it also be a curse at the same time. You
Right.
know. So I mean, it's amazing to see that she's standing up and she's now going out to help others. That's the whole thing. Take community to raise a kid. You know what they always saying back in the day? Take a village to raise a kid.
Right.
You need a village to raise a kid. Now they need the world to raise a kid.
No, absolutely.
Even more
Absolutely.
now. You know?
Yeah. So definitely it's a struggle, man. It's a struggle, you know. But like I said, it's just interesting to hear those stories because
Yeah.
it's almost like the same thing, you know, and
Absolutely.
you know, it's almost like nothing new under the sun, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to how those things happen and why they happen and the struggles. And I'll say it, man. Look, postpartum depression is real. Depression is real.
Yep.
Suicide is real, you know, in those situations. And it's not really anything that we could just be flippant about and say, oh, well, they did it to themselves and they deserve the
Exactly.
situation that
Not
they're
even
in,
the case.
and blah, blah, blah. So,
Exactly. Not even the case. I mean, you can't control your life situations. That's something you can't control. If everybody control their life, I think everybody be a lot different the way they want life to go. I mean, agreeable, you know? I mean, who wants to be a single mother? Who wants to be a single father? Who wants to be somebody, a statistic where you may go to jail before you turn 12? Nobody wants to be that situation. Nobody
right,
wants that.
right,
So, but you can't, because life. As life is right, throw challenges, throw saying, life throw challenges at you. You gotta either step up or fall down. Or you fall down and get back up, you know? And if you
right.
have people in place to teach you how to get back up after, that could be a big difference on how your life can go. You know, you go good, and you go bad. It's just in the middle, which is sad because we all need help sometimes. And, you know, some people pride getting away, egos, you know, self-embarrassment, like you said before, self-embarrassment of the situation, which is not even the case because you didn't do nothing wrong. You brought another
Right.
life in the world. You know, if they always saying if God didn't want you to have it, you would not have it.
That's right.
The reason why that child is born here, the reason why that child had to learn certain lessons that only you can teach that child.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true, brother. Well, listen, everybody. This one was short. This one was sweet. You know, we want to thank Keila for coming on the show and
Definitely.
speaking to us about this particular problem. And stay tuned, man. We got some more bangers coming this week, Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, we got one tomorrow too. We got Arthur tomorrow. She's the author. You're gonna love this one, Joy. You know you love authors. You know you love authors. I know you love authors. You see Arthur, so you can love this one.
oh yeah, absolutely. So check us out tomorrow. We got an author on tomorrow, same time at 1:00. Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
And that was Real Talk with George and Fraser. Peace.
Peace.